الحمد لله حمدا كثيرا طيبا مباركا فيه كما يحب ربنا ويرضاه. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Okay, so I have a question before we move forward with the next class, and that is, if and when the brothers and sisters would like to move forward and move on to a new subject and a new topic. There are many Quranic supplications that we have not discussed and studied and brought up. We can never ever finish and take everything. If you guys would like to continue with the other supplications, that's no problem. And if and when you feel, okay, let's do something else, let's move forward. This is a democracy, not a dictatorship. We believe in justice, peace, equality. Your vote matters. We are here to serve the people. Okay? Never forget that, huh? So, the political science mind, all right? Khairan inshallah. So, by a show of hands, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala, who would like to continue with al-adiyyatul waridah min al-Quran al-Kareem? It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You in. There's no in between.
What's the other topic?
That's up to you. The brothers, so continue. Continue, two sisters, continue along with the brothers. Tayyib, anybody else? Alright, show of hands. Those who would like to move on to a new topic of discussion. You can't vote twice, Faisal. It's Democrat or Republican, no Green Party, alright? Of no doubt. We can never ever get enough of this. And as it's mentioned, يعني كما ورد عن عثمان بن عفان رضي الله عنه أنه قال لو أن قلوبنا طهرت, if our hearts were, we would never ever get enough of the book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Never. Okay?
You can get every other one.
Okay. Anyone else? ننتقل. Okay, لا.
ما فيش. Just opinion.
ما فيش. This is only vote.
Yeah, no.
Donkey or elephant? بس. معلش. All right. One of the two animals, no third. All right. طيب. سياسة. Okay. Anyone else? Mahad, do you like to move forward? Okay, that's 2.
I want to move forward.
All right. طيب.
I want to talk about the Sirah Nabawi.
طيب. العطيرة الشريفة
إن شاء الله.
على صاحبها أفضل الصلاة والتسليم. طيب. Anyone else?
I want us to talk about companionship.
Well, we're not talking about what we talking about yet. We're talking about just moving on. Clear? Yani? Well, if we get enough votes, and obviously the final decision is going to be made by those who make the final decision. Let's say that. In Islam, many people have misunderstandings with regards to shura and voting. All right, the act of taking a vote isn't necessarily a bad thing. But the bad thing about voting and democracy is that numbers determine right or wrong, outwardly, versus the truth being truth, falsehood being falsehood, let alone one person having the final say-so after taking the shura. Tell me what you guys think. Abdu li araakum. Let me hear, okay? Then he thinks, he prays, he ponders, ahlul halli wal aqd, so on and so on and so forth. Right? So there are many different misconceptions, extremes, zealots concerning democracy, dictatorship, so on and so forth. The good, the bad, and the ugly. And obviously, the great manipulation is when a person feels that he isn't being manipulated. That's when manipulation works at its best. When you think that you're in control and in power. We all know at the end of the day, one person has to make the what? The final say-so. Right, khayr inshallah. Alright. So the majority seems as if they would like to continue the Quranic supplications. That seems to be the case now. The Jumhur, right? There's so much. One suggestion was the Sirah. What did Uthman, he left, what did he say?
Companions.
The companions of the Prophet ﷺ, which we did. Yeah, we took the Khulafa al-Rashideen. I don't believe we took the Baqiyat al-Ashara, the remaining 10 who were promised paradise.
I think with this style, just covering the fear, you're also going into other things. So it's pretty diverse. It's not like we're just
Okay.
on one topic. So that's what makes it.
That's the word you're looking for.
Exactly. So it doesn't need a change because this is not just one. You're doing like 3 different things. Tafsir at the same time. You're doing du'as from the Quran and then
Okay.
a bit of side stories here and there. So I think it's a little bit of everything. That's why everybody enjoys it.
Okay, طيب. Inshallah. You have to think about it.
I have a suggestion.
Bismillah.
The history of the Islamic Khilafah, الدولة العثمانية, الدولة الفاطمية.
Okay. الدول الإسلامية, الفتوحات الإسلامية. Okay. Islamic conquests. Islam spread across the different continents, the different dynasties, empires, how they rose, how they fell, their effects to this very day. حتى اليوم نعيش في ظلالها وآثارها حتى اليوم. إن خيرا فخير وإن شرا فشر. بالفعل, whether that's good or bad to this very day. You coming from a country, you're coming from a part of the world, whatever continent you come from, there's effects and good or bad with regards to the different Islamic dynasties and empires, from the Levant to West Africa, and the list goes on and on and on. All right, Tayyib.
Can you comparison creative way?
Tayyib, okay, Jazakallah khairan, barakallahu feekum. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate that you guys, put forth your suggestions, and you have the hunger and the thirst to learn more and to learn and speak about different things. Anyone else? All right, Tayyib, inshallah. Well, keep thinking about it, keep talking about it, inshallah. All right, so tonight,
Oh, sorry.
Fadal, Bismillah.
But as we prep towards Ramadan, maybe something keep in mind, getting ready for like a better experience in Ramadan with the Quran or some other ways.
Okay, perfect, excellent. As we get closer to Ramadan, trying to gear it and tailor it more towards fasting, the fiqh of fasting, the spirituality of fasting. Of course, the essence of Ramadan is khayr inshallah. All right. So we're not switching tonight. We're not starting anything new tonight. There's no need for any drastic changes. I just want to see how you brothers and sisters are feeling. Okay? It's important to know how you feel. All right? That way I can serve you better. Inshallah. All right? Very important. All right. Jazakumullah khairan. Faisal, what's the longest surah in the Quran? Al-Baqarah. Okay. That's an easy one. A freebie. My next question is, how are the surahs divided? What groups or classes do they have? No, the surahs. Yeah. One second. Right now, just Faisal. All right, we'll come to you. So let's make an example of this. Well, automobiles, regardless of the company, the color, and regardless of the price. This is a coupe. This is a sports car. This is a sedan. This is a full size. This is a compact. This is a SUV. This is a pickup truck. This is a minivan. This is a van. This is a passenger van. This is a trailer, RV, etc. Regardless of the company, but there's a class that it belongs to. So if I have 120 cars on my lot, I can divide them and break them down into 5 classes. This part of the lot, that part of the lot, so on and so forth. So how are the surahs coupled together? Because you mentioned the Baqarah is the longest surah. So are there any other surahs that are close to Baqarah that are linked in the class, the genre? Understand what I mean?
So, like believers, non-believers?
No, those are the hear the Quran, who listen, who believe or believe not. We're just talking about the surahs. Okay, there you go. Perfect answer. The 7 longest surahs. So first and foremost, Al-Fatiha by itself. After Surah Al-Fatiha comes Surah Al-Baqarah, which is the longest. Other surahs which aren't as long as Baqarah, but close or similar in length, extensive. And they are called As-Sab'u Tiwal, the 7 long ones, which are, quick refreshment, Al-Baqarah, Al-Imran, Nisa, Al-Ma'idah, Al-An'am, and Al-A'raf. Okay, Jameel. After the 7 long ones comes, Yalla, Al-Mi'un. Al-Mi'un. The surahs containing just 100, 100 and a little more, but not as long as the 7. Clear? 150, 160, 200, going all the way. Alright, after the Mi'un, the 7, or the 100 bearers, comes what? What's the next classification? Al-Mani. And then after the Mathani comes, last but not least, المفصل. هناك أوساط يعني طوال أوساط وقصار. Where did المفصل begin? Hujurat, Qaf. Alright, we need to brush up on our Uloomul Quran. Inshallah, there are many things to study with regards to the Mus'haf itself. The Mus'haf is put together, arranged, compiled. And from that are the groups and the classes of the surahs. Everybody with me or not? كيف تم تقسيم المصحف وتجزئته كيف جزأوا المصحف السور. The surahs, they belong in pairs and groups and classes. It's haphazard. Nothing is just thrown and put together. It's the book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So Surah Al-Baqarah, it belongs to the class of the 7. The 7 longest. Moving forward, Abu Mu'adh, a benefit of knowing this, not just in theory, is knowing what's the sunnah to recite in the salah. What surah did the Prophet recite in the Fajr? What part of the Mus'haf did he recite from in Isha and Maghrib? Mufassal or versus the Taraweeh? Everybody understand this? If you want to polish your prayer, to pray, Sallu kama ra'aytumuni, fil hay'a, fil tul, anything that pertains to, as you have seen me praying. Everybody understand this? An imam, he may recite a part of it, which is permissible, but he keeps doing it over and over again. That the Prophet never used to recite repeatedly in Fajr. And that's going to take away from his sunnah prayer. And Salatul Isha, he reads something over and over again, a certain part, which the Prophet says, it's lawful, but it isn't the way that what? I don't understand this. So there are many benefits. What part of the Quran the surah is classified under? The Mufassal, the Mathani, the Mi'un, etc. Alright, so Surah Al-Baqarah belongs to the 7 longest surahs. Whereas Surah Al-Baqarah is the longest. How many verses? 286? 86. Alright, almost 300 verses. Okay, so tonight's class, inshallah, we are going to read the Qur'an supplication from the very end of Surah Al-Baqarah. And there are many special things pertaining to the end of Surah Al-Baqarah. Just as Surah Al-Baqarah has countless other virtues. Khasa'is wa fada'il. Khasa'is wa fada'il. And from the fada'il of the khasa'is of the surah is this surah fi tarikh al-khalq wal mustaqbalahum, tarikh al-umam, the history of all nations, all races. Allah talks about the first human being made. Allah talks about the Yahud, the Nasara, the Majus. Allah talks about the Muslimun, the believers. Allah talks about Iblis, the Malaika. Allah talks about the prophets and the messengers. Ibrahim gives us a full history of everything. And it also talks about the future and how things will end for all of these nations as well. So Surah Al-Baqarah is a very special surah and a very extensive surah. And many scholars said, إنها أجمع سورة في القرآن على الإطلاق. This is the most comprehensive surah in the Quran. Alright, right. That's not what we want to talk about tonight. Alright, Bismillah. Our first volunteer, inshallah. We are going to read directly from the Quran, but instead we're going to read from Sahih al-Bukhari. Imam al-Bukhari, rahimahullah ta'ala, he says, حدثنا محمد بن كثير قال أخبرنا شعبة عن سليمان عن إبراهيم
Can you make it bigger?
عن عبد الرحمن better than small. قال حدثنا محمد بن كثير قال أخبرنا شعبة عن سليمان عن إبراهيم عن عبد الرحمن عن أبي مسعود عن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم أنه قال من قرأ بالآية ثم انتقل إلى إسناد آخر حول السند له إسنادان في هذا الحديث أكثر من الشيخ وحدث كذلك شيخنا أبو نعيم فضل بن دكين قال حدثنا سفيان عن منصور عن إبراهيم عن عبد الرحمن بن يزيد عن أبي مسعود. شوف كيف التقى الإسناد. Both chains, they switched and then they came back. قال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم من قرأ بالآيتين من آخر سورة البقرة في ليلة كفتاه. وقال عثمان بن الهيثم هذا يسمى تعليق، هذا المعلق، ساق حديثا فيه انقطاع، لأنه قال فلان ابن فلان ثم ذكر تحديث، وليس في الإسنادين الأولين اللذين فيهما تحديث صراحة. وقال علق السند بسبب. المهم، وقال عثمان بن الهيثم حدثنا عوف عن محمد بن سيرين عن أبي هريرة رضي الله عنه قال وكلني رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم بحفظ زكاة رمضان فأتاني آت فجعل يحثو من الطعام فأخذته فقلت لأرفعنك إلى رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم فقص الحديث فقال إذا أويت إلى فراشك فاقرأ آية الكرسي لن يزال معك من الله حافظ ولا يقربك شيطان حتى تصبح. وقال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم صدقك وهو كذوب ذاك شيطان. So this is Sahih Bukhari. We're giving you the direct source. Imam al-Bukhari, he traces this narration back to the companion whose name is Abu Mas'ud al-Badri. May Allah be pleased with him. He said the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, Man qara'a bil-aytayni min akhiri Surah Al-Baqarah. Whoever reads the last two verses of Surah Al-Baqarah, fi laylatin, at night, sleeps, kafatahu, it will suffice him. Whoever reads the last two verses from Surah Al-Baqarah at night time will be sufficed, will be protected, will be blessed. Kafatah. ما معنى قوله صلى الله عليه وسلم كفتاه؟ نمر عليه. المهم النبي عليه الصلاة والسلام حثنا وحرضنا على ملازمة القراءة بالآيتين من آخر سورة البقرة. Is the process that encouraged us to read these two verses at night time before we sleep. How many of us do this on a daily basis, a nightly basis? How many Muslims, they may say other things, some things may be made up, maybe based off of some weak, fabricated type of narration, and the clear, authentic sunnah, giving you the doorway to spirituality is what? It's right there within your reach. This is the benefit of reading and studying these books. It prevents you from being misled and from being hoodwinked by others. Telling you do this and say this, which isn't sound. The one who goes to the direct source isn't like the one who takes it from 3 or 4 or 5 hands later on, which at best something went wrong. Let alone I'm going to intentionally raise the price. I'm going to intentionally put something in it. I'm going to intentionally cut it and water it down. I go right to where it's grown. The way that you eat isn't the way that the one who eats from the supermarket. It's like night and day. So it's very important as Muslims, scholars, students of knowledge, non-Muslims, Muslims, that you always train yourself to always have some direct encounter with the source, with the direct source. No one can tell you, I read inside Al-Baqarah myself. You can't come along and say so on and so forth. Alright? So, before you sleep at night time, you should read the last 2 verses of Surah Al-Baqarah. Now, we're going to come back to the Hadith. Imam al-Bukhari, rahimahullah, he then gives us a shorter version of our Hadith without a full chain of narration. That goes back to Abu Huraira. That the Prophet ﷺ, he says, وَكَّلَنِي. One day, 1 year, the Prophet ﷺ put me in charge of the zakat for Ramadan. The zakat al-fitr, the zakat al-fitr, the money, the food stuff, the dry goods that the companions would give to be donated, to be passed out, zakat, whether it's zakat al-fitr or general zakat. I was in charge of this, of these goods. Okay? So one night, as I'm watching these goods, فَأَتَانِي آتٍ, somebody came to me. A being, an entity. I don't know who it was. Human, angel, jinn, demon. فَأَتَانِي آتٍ. Somebody came to me. فَجَعَلَ يَحْفُ مِنَ الطَّعَامِ. And this person came as a thief. Started stealing the food stuff. This is the wheat, the barley, the rice, the dates, and he started stuffing his bag, stealing. Abu Huraira says, فَأَخَذْتُهُ, come here. What are you doing? Get off of that. I grabbed him. It's haram for you to steal. You can't take from the Muslim's wealth. And then I said to him, after I gripped him up, I hemmed him up, right? That's what that means. فَأَخَذْتُهُ. In our terminology, I did what? I hemmed him up. Alright? I grabbed him by his collar. What are you doing? Abu Huraira, he says, فَقُلْتُ لَأَرْفَعَنَّكَ إِلَىٰ رَسُولِ اللَّهِ صَلَّى اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ وسلم. I'm going to tell the Messenger of Allah about you. Come to steal the wealth of the Muslims. فَقَصَّ الْحَدِيثِ يعني إِلَى آخِرِ الْحَدِيث. And then he mentioned in the end of this hadith, it's not mentioned here, the man was, this entity was in the form of an old man, a beggar. And he pleaded to be released. If you take your hand off of my collar, if you let go, if you don't tell the Messenger of Allah, I'll help you, I'll give you something. And he said, before he told him that, he said, let me go and I'll never come back. فَرَحِمْتُهُ. Abu Huraira said, I was merciful to him. And this is a beautiful point from Hadith. نقطة لطيفة جدا. وفي أن الصحابة تربوا على رحمة الناس وترتف بالناس. The companions were raised with me. They were taught and trained to be kind to the people, to be merciful to people. Even when the people were dead wrong. Not like us today. Harsh, mean, cruel, unforgiving. خشن. طبعا هذا الشيخ الذي يقرأ القرآن خشن جدا. Mawla is a very harsh, crude, mannered person. The Imam, after the khutbah, you walk up to him, get away from me, yeah. What is this? Someone do something that's wrong in the masjid, something is off. That's al-aslu fil ilm, wa-rahma wa-rifq. That is the foundation, the default of knowledge, is to be soft and kind and easygoing with the people. Even when someone does something wrong and you're correcting a mistake. So Abu Huraira was sorry for the man. The man said, I'm poor, I have ayal, I have children, I have family, please let me go, I promise I'll never come back again. So Abu Huraira, he let the man go. Second night, the man back. And he stole again. And the Messenger of Allah, Abu Huraira said, I'll tell the Messenger of Allah about you this time. Please, alayhi iyal, miskeen, let me go. You won't see me again. I swear, this very last time. Wallahi, very last time. He said the last time. I know, but I mean it this time. So he let him go the second time. The third man came and he did what? He stole again. And when he grabbed him, he said, Khalas, no more mercy. And the man said, I'll give you something if you let me go. And he told him, The narration states, he said, what? إِذَا أَوَيْتَ إِلَى فِرَاشِكَ. Before you go to sleep, you lie down, recite Ayatul Kursi. If you recite this verse from the Quran, he says, لَنْ يَزَالَ مَعَكَ مِنَ اللَّهِ حَافِظٌ. Allah will protect you from night morning. You'll be protected in your sleep. You won't have nightmares, scary dreams. You will sleep peacefully if you recite Ayatul Kursi. And no harm will come near you until the morning. I told the Prophet ﷺ about what this man said. And he said, do you know who your guest was? Do you know who this old poor man was? Do you think he was just an average man? He was Shaitan, who shape-shifted in the form of a human being. And he said, Sadaqaka wa huwa kadhoob. He's a great liar, but he has told you the truth. Allahu Akbar. A pathological liar, a horrible liar, but he didn't lie to you in this instance. So this hadith is not in Sahih Bukhari. If you're doing a khutbah or class, لا تقول البخاري. وإنما تقول ذكره البخاري معلقا. رواه أبو داود، رواه أحمد، وذكره البخاري. علق البخاري ما رواه بسنده ليس على شرطه. Alright? Bukhari didn't narrate this hadith, he mentioned this hadith.
Who is the Rawi?
Abu Huraira. Alright, so we're not focusing on Ayatul Kursi right now, but we're only going to focus on the narration of Abu Mas'ud. I'm just giving you the hadith in what? Full version. And of course, a long lecture could be given on just this one narration. Al-Fawad, Wal-Ahkam, Wal-Adab. Okay, all of the tarbiyah that we can get from that one hadith. And taking the truth from whoever says the truth. And not looking at what the person looks like or what the person sounds like instead of actually listening to what the person is saying. Shaitan was truthful, you take the truth. Alright? Tayyib. Khayr, inshallah. Alright, let's move forward. Who's going to be our reader, inshallah? Mahad, Fadl, Lillahi ma fi samawati.
لله
أعوذ بالله. Say.
أعوذ بالله. لله ما في السماوات وما في الأرض وإن تبدوا ما في أنفسكم أو تخفوه يحاسبكم به الله فيغفر لمن يشاء.
Alright, what is that right there? What is this called? When we talk about Uloomul Quran. A stop. What type of stop? جائز ولا لازم ولا ممنوع ولا كيف؟ الممنوع وقف. نتفق على أنه علامة إيش؟ وقف. طيب, it's as a place to stop, to catch your breath, to pause. But there are different types of stoppings in the Quran. You must stop. You should stop. You can't stop. It's better to keep going, etc. That is also from,
That's a nice topic too.
yes, Uloomul Quran. That's from Uloomul Quran. Knowing what these symbols are. This is a qaf, lam looks like a ya. This is a sad, lam looks like. What does that mean? Al-Muhim. Alright? Tayyib? Everybody doing this or not? If you ever wonder what those signs and symbols are, when were they placed in the Mus'haf? Who put them there? Why were they put there? Etc. Father Mahab, continue.
لله ما في السماوات.
No, and the reason why I brought that up is because Mahab didn't stop. He kept going. Was he supposed to stop? Should he have stopped? Did he have to stop? Was it a good thing for him to stop? Yes. The sister, she said it's a good thing. She said you left off something virtuous. Like, Father, Bismillah. فيغفر
لمن يشاء ويعذب من يشاء والله على كل شيء قدير. آمن بما أنزل إليه من ربه والمؤمنون كل آمن بالله وملائكته وكتبه ورسله لا نفرق بين أحد من رسله وقالوا سمعنا وأطعنا غفرانك ربنا وإليك المصير. لا يكلف الله نفسا إلا وسعها لها ما كسبت وعليها ما اكتسبت. ربنا لا تؤاخذنا إن نسينا أو أخطأنا ربنا ولا تحمل علينا إصرا كما حملته على الذين من قبلنا ربنا ولا تحملنا ما لا طاقة لنا به واعف عنا واغفر لنا وارحمنا أنت مولانا فانصرنا على القوم الكافرين.
Jazakallahu khairan. So, how many verses did we recite just now? 284, then 285, and then 286. But the hadith said how many verses? 2. But we read 3. Hadith told us how many? 2. But we read what? Alright, tight. Bismillah. Alright, let's read the translation of the meanings. Bidnillahi ta'ala. And we'll take Sahih International. Who's going to be our reader? To Allah belongs. Tfaddal. Bismillah. To Allah belongs.
To Allah belongs whatever is in the heavens and whatever is in the earth. Whether you show within yourselves or conceal it, Allah will bring you to account for it. Then He will forgive who He wills and